Hello viewers. Goa State Research Foundation, in collaboration with the Directorate of Higher Education, has started this series of talks on research and researchers. And today we have with us a very special guest, Dr. Natasha Maria Gomes. Dr. Natasha Maria Gomes is an assistant professor of French at Dr. Shenoy Goybab School of Languages and Literature, Goa University. With an experience of over a decade in teaching French and other languages in India and in France, Dr. Natasha Gomes has certainly proven her acumen in academic and in research with her doctoral thesis and her research publications. She is also a cultural mediator and a game enthusiast. Her doctoral thesis was on contextualization of French textbooks in India. We are really honored to have you, ma'am, on our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. What really got you interested in choosing this particular topic?
Well, you see, I've always been fascinated with how do you create learning experiences. And right from my experience teaching at the primary level, right up to post-graduation. And what I've realized is that if the content is not adapted to the learners, then getting them interested in it and then meeting your learning outcomes gets very difficult. And hence, contextualization is extremely crucial.
Going to the next question, what exactly is contextualization in education?
So in very simple terms, contextualization just means that we need to understand the surrounding of the learners, their lived experiences, and then create content that you can adapt or the learners can connect with new content. So in the case of French language education, it means that the content needs to be related to India, or for instance in Goa, related to Goa, something that the learners can see around. And then we take learners from there to a foreign context where they are able to connect their own culture with a foreign culture.
That's very interesting. So I'm sure that in your course of research journey, you must have come across several interesting research findings. Could you tell us some of the most interesting and important ones?
Yes. So what is interesting to note is because of the policies that we had in the country, as well as the privatization of the publication sector, we've had a booming industry of publication. The textbooks that are created in the country basically have these three features, which I would like to highlight today. One, the Indianness. So Indianness over here would refer to the cultural objects in the book. So say for instance, a sari is an object that you would find in most of the books. The sari, the dosa.
Lovely.
You also have Indian elements that are there, like the monuments and cultural practices. So the Goa textbooks have about the carnival. The second interesting aspect is the Frenchness in the books. There is, when you analyze the covers, now they say you should not judge a textbook by its cover. But when it comes to textbooks in India as well as in the world, you should be looking at the cover. The icons that are there, the images, as well as the titles, because they convey implicit messages.
Yes.
And students are at a very impressive age, and hence there needs to be excellent focus on this. So while analyzing the covers, we've noticed that majority of the textbooks focus on France. Now, as you know, French is spoken in all other continents.
Yes.
And there are more speakers, in fact, in Francophone Africa. A country which is called as Democratic Republic du Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo. And the reference to Congo is hardly mentioned in the textbooks. So one of the recommendations would be that the textbooks need to focus on Francophonie so that we're able to tie it again to what is mentioned in our policy. So basically, why do you study a foreign language? So that learners can connect the language with other cultures and it opens up their horizons. The third finding, which I thought was super interesting, was the intercultural nature of these books. So you see, a special feature of especially the books published by the autonomous bodies that are linked with the state boards.
Yes.
They have elements where you have a local. The reason why I'm saying a local is because you have a local person's name. They invite a francophone is a French speaking person, to India. they compare different aspects of culture. So for instance, a dosa is often compared to the crepe, the French crepe,
Yes.
because there are similarities. And this helps learners build the intercultural competencies that is so vital in today's world.
Yes. So you basically believe that contextualization of textbooks is very important for learners to grasp any foreign language.
Absolutely.
Coming to my next question, you have already done a lot of work when it comes to MOOCs and developing courses on Swayam. So how do you see textbooks evolving with the help of technology in today's times for this newer generation and for future generations?
Absolutely. Technology is something that is vital. So you might have noticed that in our NCERT textbooks, we not only have the physical copy, but we also have a QR code embedded in it.
Yes.
Now, this is an excellent idea because it helps people or the learners not only have the physical textbook, but connect them with content online. Now, considering a country like ours, it is extremely important for us to provide material in different formats.
Yes.
Because not everyone has access to internet or to a device. And in fact, this was this need was felt during the pandemic. And therefore, I know about SERT in Goa. They worked extensively on creating material which was based on the textbooks in digital format. And at the same time, we produced content that learners could print or the teachers could print and provide the learners. So we see the importance of technology at every step. A learner can not only use the textbook, but also make use of the vast repertoire of vast collection, in fact, of resources available on MOOCs and other e-content sources.
That's lovely. You're also a game enthusiast, and I have known it personally. So could you tell us how do you incorporate games in your teaching experience in classroom, and how does it benefit learners to learn a foreign language?
Oh, absolutely. I love using games because in a game environment, the learner breaks down their inhibitions. You see, learning a foreign language is not easy.
Yes.
No one likes to make mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because you get judged by your peers, by the teacher. But what happens in a game environment, those inhibitions disappear.
True.
And the learners can also have in mind that, okay, if you make a mistake, there's nothing wrong with it. You will learn.
Yes.
That's why you have a next level to the game. So today we are fortunate enough to have wide variety of games available online.
Yeah.
You can always contextualize the games again for the Indian context so that the learners can connect what they have in the textbook with the game environment and their life.
So have you tried inventing a new game in your classroom so that students could get more interested in French?
Oh yes, so I have multiple. So I work with, because one of the things that students find really boring is rote learning the verbs.
Yes.
And
in French, it's very difficult with the ER and the IR.
Yes, so there are a lot of verbs, there are a lot of exceptions.
Yes.
So the question is, how do you make that interesting so that the learner would want to, practice the verbs? So instead of doing these boring exercises that come at the end of
the textbook,
reading material, we can take the same exercises and have it like in a game which is similar to snakes and ladders.
Oh,
so there is also a French version of the game, which we can adapt for our Indian context.
Oh, lovely. Since this talk or this series is on research, how do you suggest we get students more interested in research at school level or at college level, especially in foreign languages?
Okay, so the thing is, I think students or even young learners are naturally very curious.
Yes.
So it's important for the learners to remember that you need to still be curious and continue to be curious. For parents and teachers, it's important to develop this curiosity and to help learners ask the questions. A lot of times, we get irritated when people ask us, when our kids ask us a lot of questions. But this is extremely vital, because without those questions and without that curiosity, you will not get further in your understanding. So one, I would like to tell learners that be curious. Ask questions, ask everyone questions, and then follow it up with observations. It's important to see, to have your context, observe how things happen, like when in terms of the French language, how is it used, what are the similarities between French and the languages you speak, because there are a lot of roots that are similar. For instance, between Konkani and French, there are more similarities than between English and French. So it is important for learners to find that connect. And of course, read, consult resources that are there.
Thank you very much, Natasha Gomes. Any parting words for our viewers that you would like to give?
It's important for you to understand that there are always boundaries to learning, but we can always surpass the boundaries the moment we are curious, we ask pertinent and useful questions, and we take the additional step to find out the answers to those questions.
True. Dr. Natasha, thank you very much for coming on the show. I think whatever we've discussed today about contextualization of French textbooks in India was very helpful to our audience, and also about research and how to become more inquisitive when it comes to research was very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's been wonderful to also share some of my learnings, and I do hope that we have more research coming out from Goa. Thank you.